and to find world peace. My world can't be peaceful without Jesus. You know, when he says he's the way, the truth, and the life, he means it. It's real. And I didn't get that for a very long time. And then the next part, and tell me if you need me to slow down, but I'm just keeping moving so that you can. 100 babies. I love it. You know what? It's fun. Sorry, just sidetracking slightly. Janine, I think that's a cracking comment. A beautiful lady that I coached a while ago. Her desire was to have children. She's in her 60s and to be married and to live in England. And she's here in New Zealand. And God blessed her. She is married. She lives in a beautiful part outside of the most English house in the whole of Havelock North. And she looks after 130 young girls in a boarding house. So he did bless her with many children. She just didn't give birth to all of them. So I tell you, you watch what he does, because I have watched him give her absolutely everything that was in her heart. Everything. He's incredible. And then what do you need to overcome to move forward? You know, what's standing in your way right now? And this is about, yeah, sorry. You know what, Kim? Just shut me up. Like literally just put me on mute as you're working this if my voice is painful, and I will do this and then I'll shut up for a bit. What do you need to overcome to move forward? And in my case, it was fear of not being good enough. It was that I can't write because it's my lowest pillar. It's that who wants to listen to my story? So I'm going to shut up. You can all give me a thumbs up when you've answered those three or had time, so that then I'll chip back in again. But I'll shut up for now and let you guys just answer those first three. Alrighty. I love it. Looks like many of you are ready to, and you can just move on in your own time. But, you know, what is God inviting you into with Him right now? That promise or great exchange. So it usually comes from that fear, whatever was standing in your way. What is God inviting you into? What is He saying? What is He inviting you up into as part of this? And then once you've answered those questions, we'll literally give you a full 5 minutes to just free flow from your heart. Get naked on the page, as I would call it. But just free flow, and whatever's coming, just let it flow onto the page. And if you've got any questions, put them in the chat. But I will take myself off mute because I know I can't write if I can hear somebody talking. And so I will honor that in others too. I love it when you do that, Jesse. That's such a crack up. Thanks for the timer.
Absolutely.
Now, I am going to hand over to Jesse in a moment, but does anybody have any initial feedback on this, just this first little bit that we've done about where we're at, or any questions before we get into the next session around the teaching and digging deeper, because this is Jesse's zone of genius. But any questions or anything you want to ask or share? You can just take yourself off mute and ask if there's anything you want to ask. Gosh, you're all very quiet. I love this. Don't think I've ever had such a quiet group. Was that helpful? So
Yes.
yes, it was helpful. Yes, Janine said it was helpful. Good. Okay.
I would like to open my camera and say, yes, it's helpful. And I think the biggest piece of information that you've given me is just go ahead and write. How it comes
Yeah.
back, it's kind of like clean up the edges later. Get it on the paper.
Well said.
Cheryl, and that's exactly what Jesse did for me because I had no idea where to start. And that was why today I sensed to take myself back to what I needed to just be able to get started. So hopefully that was helpful. Has everybody managed to, you can put in the chat and say yes, has everybody managed to write something down? So you can just put yes in the chat if you've got something. Well done, Sue, Lee, yes, Laurie. Brilliant. Look at
Wow.
you guys
Look at
go.
that. See, it
Oh,
was just so this is so beautiful. And yeah, we're gonna go through the different pieces, but exactly what Cheryl said, that give yourself permission to write poorly, give yourself permission to be messy. I mean, we're gonna go on to the various pieces, but there's no expectation for you to be fully done with your story. This is just the first bit of it. And yeah, and I'm going to share the next kind of pieces from that. And to share the fact that there is usually when I help authors go through books or chapters or anything, usually there's three components that make up a good chapter. Memoir is a little bit different, and so if you're writing a memoir, then it's a little bit different. But as far as a chapter goes, or a story, usually there's three components. There's the story part of it, there's the teaching part of it, and there's the application. And so we're going to basically take what you've written, or at least the concept of what you've written. I know you probably aren't going to be done with your full story, and obviously it takes a lot of time to really develop. But we're going to then say, well, how do we now pull a teaching from that? And this is raw. I mean, honestly, we can go there. I mean, there's a lot of ashes in people's lives, from abuse to to any to death, to any number of things, right? And so I want to be very sensitive as far as it's not just going to be sterile in the sense of, oh, let's turn this into a teaching thing. But I do believe that God always brings some kind of restoration or some kind of thing from our story. I'm always drawn to, I'm going to share my screen really briefly. I'm drawn to, many of you probably have seen this before. I always get the name wrong, but this pottery here is called a King U. I don't even can't even say it, but it's beautiful pottery that from the Japanese, and they have this amazing art form. They take a broken pottery and they put uh, gold throughout the pottery to fuse it back together. And it's the idea is that this is actually more beautiful than the pottery was initially, even though it's been broken and it's been put back together, and you can see the cracks and you can see the scars. It actually, the idea is that it's more beautiful, that it's now that it's put together. And so oftentimes the Lord doesn't have, the Lord has scars, or the Lord, our life has scars. Let me say that more correctly. Our life has scars, but the Lord actually does not remove the scars, but allows for us to actually pull from it. And so this is what it means to be a writer in a lot of ways, is we feel deeply, and yet we find reason for we identify why. And so, yeah, your story, you've poured out your story, and we're going to do a little bit of steps to try to find the beauty out of these ashes. And feel free to keep putting things in the chat, and as Sally will monitor it. Um, I'll go ahead and share my slides. 'Cause I'm a little bit nerdy, and I have some slides that I like to guide through, to kind of gather my thoughts. So the first step that I like to invite people into is actually inviting Jesus into our story. There is a beautiful, I've done a lot of inner healing work, and a lot of them come along looking at our past, looking at our stories, and actually picturing where Jesus is in your story. And Sally was able to do that worksheet really, really well. And so you can use that worksheet. There's a question there about kind of inviting Jesus in, or you can just kind of do it on your own. And we might not take a lot of time doing that. I'll give you probably 2 minutes or so. But this is I'd say just picture Jesus present in your story. Where is he? What does it feel like to have him there? And is there a moment that he is revealing to you from your past that he wants to be invited into? So this is not super spiritualizing, and maybe some of us aren't visual people. It can be an impression, it can be just words, but I just invite you. I'm actually just going to do 1 minute. I'm going to invite you to invite Jesus into your story, and just get a picture of where he is and what is he doing. So I don't have the timer, but I'm just going to go ahead and let's do this. Take 1 minute to do that. Okay, so that's the 1 minute there. I know we don't have a lot of time, but we're going to go on to the next step, is to ask Jesus. Now, many of you probably have heard something from him already, but I would invite you to just, now that you see him, ask him what beauty can come from this. Now that he is there, and so what is he doing? Simply give you a moment to ask him, what are you doing with what are you doing with the story? What beauty can come from this? Because yes, we can manufacture it ourselves, and we can try to assume what can come from it, but the best thing is just to ask the Lord himself. It's like, what dry bones can can life come to these dry bones in some cases. So I would invite you to spend about just another 1 minute and just ask the Lord, what new perspective, what are you offering me? In some senses too, you might have to give him your story if it's really, really painful. Sometimes you can say, there is a exchange too, like Sally likes to say, the beautiful exchange. You may have to give him your story and ask him for a new perspective. So let's take about 60 seconds and do that. Okay, let's wrap that up a little bit. And we'll go on to the third part. And this is can all tie together too. And so if you are still writing, feel free to keep writing. But what it comes down to is this is kind of the ultimate third step is discerning the message. Um, and throughout all of this, what is he doing? What's the new perspective? I invite you to think of a lie that you may have believed from this moment and a truth that came out of that. And so, I mean, this can be a little bit sensitive again. Like, if I know for me, I just be vulnerable in my story. One of my stories is when I was 5 years old, my house burned down, and um I was I felt vulnerable. I mean, actually, I was naked at the time, so I felt very vulnerable when my house burned down, and I was rushed outside. And at that point, for various reasons, I went to live with my dad instead of my mom, and it's been painful. The Lord has brought me back to that moment a few times. A lot of my inner healing sessions go to that moment and a few more. But the lie that I believed during that time was that, yeah, the world was not safe. The fires can come, and it's interesting, my first day of ministry school, before I even went there, we had a massive fire in California, and I got triggered again. I'm like, well, maybe this fire is gonna go and burn down my school. And it just was this catastrophic moment where I'm like, I just felt like it triggered this memory of my past. And the Lord really brought me into that moment of, oh yeah, I fear that fire can take things away from me. Um, and this is a lie that I believed, but then I entered into it, and the Lord provided me a truth that he, that he was with me, and that he can make he not only can he make all things new, but he can also protect me from the fire. Um, so that's the third part, is discerning the message, is what lie did I believe and what truth can come from this. So we'll do 2 minutes this time. And I just want to, even whether it's any of these questions or all three, ultimately you're just trying to get some kind of message. And from the story, what can you believe differently that you couldn't have back then? So I'll put another 2 minutes on the timer. Um, and uh, and yeah, just get something. And if you want to share, you're welcome to share. Put a thumbs up in the chat when you got something, some truth, some scripture, some verse, some tidbit of something from it. So I'll just go ahead and be quiet again. We get 2 minutes, and let us know when you got something. Okay, you can finish that up, and if you can, come to an end. All right. Feel free to keep writing if you need to, but give me a thumbs up if something came out of that, some kind of truth. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, feel free to put in the chat too if you'd like. But again, I understand that this can be vulnerable. So don't feel the need to. Did you want to add anything to this part, Sally?
Oh my goodness, like I've just sat and written and written and written. It's like, oh, it's it wasn't what I was expecting, but yeah, that's been awesome, Jesse. Thank you. I didn't particularly have anything I was going to initially share, and he's just
Okay.
given me a whole download. How cool is that?
Come on. Yeah, so we'll just crack on then. And I use Sally's word about crack on, which is funny. We're rubbing off on each other, so this is good. Does anybody want to share any part of this? And you don't feel the need to, but if you want to unmute yourself and just kind of share, take like 30 seconds, and if anything came out of that. Oh yeah, Sue, you want to do that? Yeah, share 30 60 seconds, Sue.
Just take yourself off mute, beautiful lady.
Yeah.
She's just looking to press her buttons. What would it be? It should be in your bottom left-hand side of your corner on your toolbar at the bottom.
Oh, got it. I got there. Yeah. I couldn't get up there, but I've done it now. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. What would you like me to share?
Oh, just if anything came out of this, and just really brief. We'll have more time at the end as well to share as well.
Sure. It was just a new way of looking at things. I mean, I'd written my story a while back, but I hadn't had such specific questions, which I think helped my focus, and may help in guiding me towards the chapter of Beauty for Ashes that I'm hoping to write. I mean, obviously, there's too many of us to all fit in one book, I should think. But yeah, no, I found that really helpful. Yeah.
Great. And yeah, I mean, there may be too many of us, but not, I think that we can make it work if everybody wants to do it. So we'll make it work. Sally had an idea of even doing multiple volumes, and so don't worry about about being too many. But awesome.
Well, true.
Yeah.
True.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and I want to do the last bit, and this is the application piece. And so again, this can be more vulnerable as well, because I mean, sometimes like what good can come from this? Sometimes, right? Yeah, we may get our own teaching, but ultimately, the idea is that the ultimate beauty is when our messy story can change somebody else's life as well, or even just change the trajectory of their life. So, and you don't need a big platform, a polished message, or even a whole book. Your story can actually impact somebody else's life. And so I, I had this vision at one point that we're all digging wells in the desert, and we may have moved on, but if somebody else is in that same desert, metaphorically, we can tell people, oh, you know what? I dug a well over there. You can drink from it. And that is a really kind of a lot of times what our stories do. And so I want to ask the question is, can I be a blessing? Could I be a blessing from this story? You're not trying to preach, you're just offering hope. And this is actually, and this right here is a key moment of knowing when your story goes from you bleeding on a page or being naked on a page, like Sally says, to actually being ready to write a book or share it with somebody else, share it with the world. If you're looking, I'll just say for me, if we're looking for validation or getting people to be on our side, we may not be fully ready to write a book or whatnot. But if we're ready to be the guide and invite somebody else to be a blessing to read our story and get something for their lives, then that is, I believe, the ultimate trajectory. So I'm going to ask 3 questions, and I want you guys to think about this. The first question is who? Who can who can be who can find comfort? So think about there, like is somebody out there, a previous version of yourself, think about their age, the demographic, somebody who's been similar to your story, who could actually benefit from this? Is it somebody, a younger version of yourself? Think about who can be a blessing, or who can benefit. Could I be a blessing to somebody else? Sorry, my baby is a little bit fussy, so I apologize. The next one is what? Um, oh, 1 second. 1 second. It's what shift of belief or perspective could I give them? Yeah, so like can I provide them a shift in perspective in some capacity? Maybe that's even just giving them courage. And think about this way, if I was sitting next to that person, what gentle truth could I whisper to them? And finally, hope. Is there a word of encouragement, a verse, or even just simply, you're not alone? What kind of hope could I offer them? And I want to give a little bit of time for us to share. I'll let you guys write that down. I know people can't work while we're talking, so I'll be quiet for 2 minutes. And then we can maybe have 1 or 2 people sharing. I know this has been really fast. We'll go much deeper if you want to join the project, or even the deep dive next week. We'll talk all about that. But yeah, let's take 2 minutes and think about this. This is not about giving advice to anybody, but it's about just offering hope to people. So let's take 2 minutes. Okay, finish it up. Okay. So we're making good time. We want to give the floor to, again, thank you everybody for just digging deep and being, writing this stuff down. Want to hear from people to see kind of how that went. It's really nice to get feedback of all of this. So I think Janine, you said you wanted to share something, and we can get a few people to kind of share, whether that's teaching, application, even the story. Just kind of let us know how this process went. Did you want to share, Janine?
Yeah. yeah, I started writing about my teenage years and how I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. I didn't felt like I had a whole lot of lies. I'm confused about life. I'm not social. I don't talk. I can't do relationships, things like that. Um, yeah, so I think and God gave me some good truth about I beautifully belong and I'm well equipped socially and yeah, I think there'll be more stuff. But yeah, and so your last questions, I felt like it'd be beneficial to the lonely and the sidelined in high schools,
Yeah.
and that the perspective shift is just that they're just unique, and also that they're pulled aside for greater things. They're being
Mhm.
prepared and um, yeah, and that they belong in God's family and they have everything they need to thrive. Yeah. So,
So good.
yeah,
That
yeah,
sounds very similar to my journey as well. Yeah, it's so fun.
right.
Isn't it so fitting that oftentimes the thing they're most attacked with is actually maybe become our biggest message, right? Which is why,
Yeah.
again, we're doing this whole thing, this beauty for ashes. It's just like what the enemy meant for evil is turned around. And yeah, belonging is probably one of my biggest things. I love collaboration, but for me, my biggest theme, and I do a lot of teaching on helping people find their life theme. But yeah, for me, belonging, that I belong, you belong, and we actually can change the world better together. So that message resonates a lot with me, Janine.
Yeah.
Which is actually also really great too. On a side note, when we tell our stories, again, like I would want to read Janine's book because it resonates. Like that's something that's true to me, and so we actually resonate with each other. So which is why it's such a good time, good reason to tell our stories. So thank you for sharing, Janine.
Yeah.
Anybody
Yeah. Thank
else? We can
you.
do like one or two more people to share something.
May I?
Yeah, absolutely, Paula.
Well, the biggest lie in my life that I believed was that just believing the facts about Jesus, who Jesus is, and saying that you love him is not saving faith. Saving faith requires transformation and obedience and self-sacrifice. And
Mhm.
so all of the years that I was just really doing my own thing, and even though I was reading the Bible, even though I was praying, I was not obedient. I was not living according to the will of God. And that is where so many people are right now.
Mhm.
They're just doing what they want to, and they're going to end up being the ones that the Lord says, "Who are you? I never knew you." And it breaks my heart to think that there are so many people that are in that space that I've
Yeah.
been. And I don't know why the Lord takes so long sometimes to reveal himself fully to, because he's the one that grants us the gift of faith. It's not something that we have generated on our own.
Yeah.
So and another thing is that when you let down your family or your children or your friends or anyone, and it's something that you feel all this guilt about, once you've confessed and repented, it's covered by the blood, and there's
Mhm.
no way to change it. That those people have their own testimony and their own stories that they have to go through, and you just have to forgive yourself and hope that they will forgive you too.
Preach. Well said. Yeah, love yourself. This is such a good thing, and yeah, like that's exactly it. We overcome with the blood of the Lamb, the word of our testimony, and that we are set free, and that's the biggest. That's why we do our stories. It's why we write, whether you write fiction or nonfiction. I mean, even in fiction, I wrote my first books were a fiction romance with Christian romance, and um, but it was about a woman trying to outrun her pain, and I co-authored with somebody who told her story inside of it, and it was transformative. And by telling, she's told her story in a fictional sense, and I helped develop it along the way. And we wrote our fictional book. But yeah, it changes lives, and because she believes that she's worthy of love now. And so that's why we do what we do. And that's why we're so excited about this project too, of telling our stories. So yeah, let's do one more. I know, Carrie, you said you wanted to share, and then we'll kind of get into the kind of next steps of where we're going from here. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that the my whole story would have changed if I just knew that the three were in me and that I had their full power and authority. And I think that's where I need to start with my story, is when people can have that mindset that every single gift, every single fruit of the Spirit is not something that we need to strive for or work for or search for,
Yeah.
because we just have it. We just have it. We have their full power and authority. They've given it all. It's grace, it's righteousness, it's all of that. And when we can have that mindset, I mean, that mindset is what healed me. That got me from the religious mindset to the kingdom mindset, to me saying one night, I declare full healing because I have the three in me. I have their full power and authority. I'm healed. I'm whole. I woke up healed. So just having that mindset is a massive, big thing, I think, in driving my story and helping others.
Fantastic. Thank you, Carrie. Yes, mindset, and that's really good. Yeah, and that's why we ask these questions, right? Because we can get stuck sometimes, in lies and mindset. And so when we actually write our stories down, we realize that, oh, the Lord was with us even in those terrible or challenging moments, and we can now shift our mindset seeing that he is with us. And so yeah, I don't want to say any more on that. I'm excited for all of our stories. It sounds like there's so many good stories here. I would love for all of us to do to do this project. So yeah, we try to keep it, we have a few different options, like, because I'm a coach, I'm an author coach, and Sally is a transformational coach, and so this workshop was free. We wanted to offer this to you as a value and a benefit to help tell your story. And I hope that there are some pieces from this that actually was beneficial. And yeah, I'll just give you a few more freebies in the sense of, like, if you want to write a whole story, think about it. Like, the write different stories from your life, and it's about story teaching application, and get a few of them and base around a theme, and get 10 or 15 of those, and you have yourself a book. It's really not all that difficult to do a whole book, but for those who are busy and who want to just write one chapter, we have an amazing opportunity. We have a few opportunities actually to kind of go further. So Sally, do you want to take it from there and just kind of tell them, like, what's going on, what we doing?
I can. I was just replying to Sue, who said that she can't make it next week, but like to watch it, so that's fine. Everything that we're doing is going to be recorded, so there'll always be replays. We've got people in the UK that obviously right now it's like 3 a.m. in the morning, so they're not on this call, but they still want to be part of it. So firstly, just do me a favor and tell me, out of 10 out of 10 is like, this was really helpful as a workshop. 0 out of 10, it was like, seriously not worth it. Right? Why did I bother? So just put a score in here just for us so that we know whether it was, oh, bless you. You're all so generous. See,
So
this is what happens when we hang out together. I love it.
love it.
So hands up those who would like more, because we're about to give you some really cool stuff. So if you want some more, actually just stick it in the chat and go more. And then I'm like, a couple of more, so I might just share it. I love you all. You guys, can we just hang out with you permanently, please? This is such a joy. Okay, so the plan for today was to get you started and to help you to just get flowing, maybe with a couple of thousand words. The plan for next week same time, unless you're in New Zealand, because our times change. So everyone else in the States, you're all good, just same time. We just got a shift. Same place. Is that we are going to give you the opportunity, if you join us next week. Oh, bless, he's ahead of me already. Jesse's put the deep dive in, but don't click it just yet, because there's a kind of caveat to it, because you can get it for free in a minute. So we are going to, you can then submit your up to 2,000 words to us, and we will review it. Now, some of you will just want it in writing. You won't want to be a hot seat, or you won't want to ask questions. And some of you, if you're like me and a talker, you actually want to ask the questions and get the feedback live and know how to nut it out and to do it a bit better, or whatever it might be. And that's what we're offering next week. So whether you're live on the call in terms of you get yours unpacked on the call, or whether you get it unpacked in a written format, we will do it in written format for everyone. But it's great to have some unpacking in real life, because how many of you have learned from each other just today? You know, like of other people's shares. It's the gold is all the people in the room, not actually the people who are facilitating. It's you that are the treasures. So that's our opportunity. We will give you a praise report, either online or offline, depending on how you want it. You'll have the opportunity of the Q&A process, and you'll get real live examples as we unpack, as Jesse shares his amazing wisdom. And possibly we might even draw Kim into some of this, because she's the most incredible editor, quietly.
Yeah, we're happy to have Kim on here. So those who are going to do the bigger project, Kim Robinson, she's a prayer warrior, and she's also a fantastic editor. And so she's going to be somebody who does line editing. So as Sally was saying, so for me, I'm more of a developmental editor. And so I like to kind of help develop the big picture. And so so those who do pay for this deep dive next week, like Sally says, you can write as much as you can this week and submit what you can. If life happens, you can't get all this done in a week, that's fine. Write your story teaching application. I will then professionally developmental edit it for you and give you feedback, and we'll give you praise reports. We'll be very generous if you miss it or whatnot. We'll make sure to help you develop your story. But Kim is a fantastic line editor too, so it's kind of, there's multiple layers of editing, and so she'll be a part of the bigger project if you want to do the whole anthology that we're very, very excited about. And that's how Sally was saying you can get the deep dive for free if you do the whole project. So go ahead, Sally. Yeah.
I love it. Like, yeah, let me get in there. So ultimately, part of the reason that we did the workshop and the deep dive was to give you a flavor of how we can support you in writing a collaborative book or an anthology. And that's really our goal. Our heart was to draw the best of the best together, and to lock arms together, and to write a book that will genuinely change lives. And so our offer is that if you want to join that project, it's 500 American dollars pretty much for the whole year, because it's going to take us a year to do this. The first 6 months of that year, and we're going to meet monthly. So after the deep dive, it's a monthly catch up, and we'll give you structure, framework, and we'll go through a very clear process that Jesse took me through when I wrote my book. And you'll be able, so we'll get it written. You'll get some beta readers to just proofread it, have a look at it. We'll get the editing done, and we'll be ready almost in a way to publish. Like, we'll have the written part done within the first 6 months. The second 6 months it's about the publishing. We can crowdfund for it, so you don't have to pay for that. That's something we're going to do as part of the journey. And also how to really extend our reach and take people on a journey with us. It's very kingdom. It's very much how it worked. For me, it meant that we raised $8,000 so that I didn't have to buy my book. All the publishing was taken care of. Imagine what would happen if there was more than just one person trying to write a book and put it out there. So the multiplication is massive. The other advantage for those of you who are already authors is it exposes us into more spaces that we wouldn't normally get exposed. So somebody who reads Jesse's books might never have known who mine is, or vice versa. Kristen's books amazing, by the way. And I can see us just quietly sharing whose each other's books are as we're on this project, because there's some incredible authors in this space. If you decide, actually, Sal or Jesse, we're in now. Jesse, have you got the link for the full one that you can drop in there? You can sign
Yeah, I
up.
will. Linda was saying that the payment link hasn't been working too well, but I will go ahead and so you can either, if you're interested in this whole project, you can email us either at the email is team@abovethesun.org, but also put the big link here. This is all the information about the collaborative book. There is a way to pay, but also there's a way to just secure your spot. You can just submit your interest. There's a button at the bottom just to submit your interest. So if the payment isn't working, we'll look into that. Just either email us or submit your interest. And like Sally was saying, we're going to meet monthly, and the goal, it's going to be very, very light in the sense of ultimately you're writing one chapter over a year. So it's going to be very, very doable. Like the first session will teach about how to tell your story in a deeper way. Second session will be how to do the teaching. So a lot of what we talked about here will be unpacked even more, and we'll actually be writing it. I'll be looking it over, kind of developmental editing along the way, helping develop it, asking questions, and then we'll write the application, and then we'll be doing some alpha reading and some beta reading. So we're going to do it over the course of a year to really hone this chapter. And like Sally was saying, we will also do some crowdfunding. So that's why we're keeping the cost really low. We're only charging the $500, but publishing a book is very, very expensive as far as editing, publishing, everything if you do it by yourself. But we're keeping it really, really low. We have some great editors came offer to offer some deals to help us, but we're going to raise the money, the editing and publishing on the other side. So I'll teach you how to do crowdfunding, how to do publishing, the whole gamut. And so being a part of this project, you'll learn the whole publishing process. If you want to do your own book as well, you can learn everything along the side with us. So that's it's kind of all inclusive.
Brilliant. Any questions, team? You're very serious. Sounds amazing. Well, that's good. Love it. Thanks, Janine.
And we do also have upsells as well. That if you need we're both mentors and everything. So if you want to actually hire us to kind of do one-on-one coaching, we'll have a package for that as well. But the book project really is the big exciting piece. Yeah. So Sue, you have a question about the fee?
Yeah, it's just easier if I say it. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's just that Jesse, you're saying it's $500, but did I mishear Sally say that if we commit, don't pay $500? I'm a bit confused. It's a bit ambiguous.
Sorry. So we're there might be some confusion. So there's two things. So obviously the step one was this workshop, which is free. Step two was a deep dive, which is $47, right? And so that was next week.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
And so for those, whether you want to do the project or not, you can still submit 2,000, writing words, come to the deep dive next week. We'll edit it. We'll help you with your chapter, right? That's $47. But if you paid for the whole project, the 500, then you get the deep dive for free. It's kind of like,
oh, thank you. Yeah, that really
makes sense. Yeah.
Thanks.
I think we're just about at time, but has anybody got any other questions before actually?
So Hannah's asking, do we have to have paid for the big project prior to next week for the deep dive? Hannah, no, yes and no. I mean, we also have some payment systems. Sally offers either pay up front or you can pay to. Ideally, you would pay at least part of it before next week, but give us a call or give us an email and saying if you need to kind of like delay or whatever. we're going to really work with you. We're not huge sticklers. If you honor system kind of thing. Questions, comments?
Yeah. How excited are you all feeling about getting some words edited or looked at and getting something into Jesse? You put it in the chat, say excited, not excited. It is going to be a beautiful project. Yeah, it is.
Beauty from ashes.
Funny that. And Kerry's dancing. I love it.
Well, cool. I mean, yeah, I know it's straightforward. I would be excited if everybody does come on it. We'll send you a follow-up email as well. I know Sally is really great at all the amazing emails, and so we'll put all the links in a follow-up email. And we'll put the recording there. And if you have anybody you want to invite them to it, feel free to tell them about the recording as well and invite them to the project. This is kind of the collaborative effort, so please tell your friends. My joke is always, if you loved us today, tell all your friends. If you didn't like us, tell all your enemies. Either way, we win.
Hey,
Was there a
Jesse,
hand? Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I already signed up saying I'm interested. When do we need to get the payment to you, or do we just show up next week, or is there like a deadline of when we decide on this?
Yeah, if you're gonna do the whole project, then yeah, like either just submit the interest and I'll give you the link, right? So
Okay.
here's the thing, guys. If you're not gonna do the whole project and you just want to come next week, then the link to just sign up for the deep dive, I'll put it again in the chat. The This is if you're basically if you're not going to do the project and you just want to do the deep dive, here is the link. Okay. That's the deep dive. And so definitely just go on there and pay for it and you'll get the link to do the deep dive, right? If you want to do the whole project, then yeah, submit interest and we'll give you the deep dive link for free and come. We'll work it out. So, we'll work out payments and all that stuff. Let us know. Yeah.
And then if we
Lee
wanted to
asked,
do the extra 6 mentoring sessions, when do we have to decide that?
yeah, I mean, let us know again when you want to do it, and
Okay.
there's a payment submission form
Gotcha.
I'll give you the link to the payment submission form again. Somebody said that it's not really working, but here's a link as well, and just let us know at team@abovethesun.org to really if it's not working. Okay, so here's some questions. Lee asked, how long do the monthly sessions last? We're trying to keep it to an hour, but expect an hour and a half. Same time, 5:30 Pacific time to 6:30. We want to try to keep it to an hour, but we want to also maybe go into an hour and a half. And it's only once a month, Friday in the States, Saturday for Sally. I know Friday nights are not ideal, but that's the time that works for both New Zealanders and American. And yeah, I know it's 7 o'clock, so you guys can drop off if you'd like, but I'm going to continue to answer questions here. Kim says we'll need their short pieces before next Friday, if possible, to give us time to read, process, and prepare feedback. Yeah, so we would ask you if you do sign up for the deep dive to submit your pieces by next Friday. We can provide feedback quickly live, but we will also, if you want to do the deep dive, I will then after next Friday go and give you more detailed feedback and editing afterwards too. So there's that. Other commitments. If you want to join later too, like let's say you're busy, you can join, I mean, ideally we join early, but we will record it. And so you can join a little bit later if you need to. And you can catch up pretty easily. Don't worry about that if you have other commitments. Carrie says the deep dive is next weekend with the collaborative event a week after. So the collaborative event will start 2 weeks after the deep dive. So it'll be going to be the 17th of October. That's when the collaborative effort starts.
Yeah.
Are we sending our short pieces to the team email? Yes. If you're going to do the deep dive, you can send your short pieces to the email, and we will take care of that for you. Cool. Any other questions? Well,
Yeah. Sorry, me. I'm the.
no, I love it. People have some similar questions. Don't worry.
You've said to write up to 2,000 words by next Friday. I mean, you might not want to say yet, but is 2,000 words what we're aiming for in the chapters, or will
Yeah.
we be aiming for more words in the chapters?
2,000 to 3,000 for the chapters. Yeah, it's
Okay,
a good
thank
amount.
you.
Yeah.
Cool.
And again, if you can't get 2,000 words by next week, we're not gonna submit what you can, and I'll be gracious as far as to help if you need to take 2 weeks or so to get something. And obviously, if you do the whole project, it'll take a year. So don't worry. If you're gonna just do the deep dive, then we will be gracious on trying to give you some feedback. Any other questions? Well, fantastic. You guys have been amazing. This is such a blessing. Um, we're very excited to do this. Our heart is to help people rise up, change the world, and just do really to you have the stories, and we're helping to bring it out. And so this is where our heart is. And yes, it costs money because I'm both of us. For me, I'm a sole provider for my family, and I need to get paid for my time. But my heart is very much to really raise up people um, to really impact the world with their authentic stories. And so I'm really excited for this. So any final words, Sally, before we let them go?
No, just thank you, because we are over time. So, Father God, just bless every single person here, those that are watching the replay. Lord, we just bless every person. And you, Holy Spirit, may people ask permission. What is it they've got permission for? Have they got permission to come and join us for the deep dive? Have they got permission to come and be part of this collaborative book? Because what I love about you, Father God, is if you give us permission, you also give us provision. So, Lord, just bless each person in wherever they are, whatever they're doing in this beautiful world. And we just say thank you for every person giving us the best gift they could have given us, which is their time today. So bless them in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Bless you guys.
Thank you, team. God bless. We love you. And hopefully we'll see you next